Let's do this. And they have great beer there.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Oh, I got to record the video too, or Michelle gets angry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's another Saturday morning. That means it's time for another edition of the Remax Magnolia Show. And this time, James is in. You're the special co-host.
A special? Well, that's good.
Well, I would think so.
Well, you got to be special at least once every couple of weeks.
Exactly. We were just talking off the air about, ratings and how they work. And we figure you're probably the top, real estate agent with a beard that lives in a certain part of East Abbotsford.
Yeah, I'm the number one realtor in my brokerage with a beard. So
right now, if Paul goes, I think I want to grow a beard. You're like, don't you dare.
No, I will shave him.
He's on a phone call. What are you doing? Nothing.
We should do that live on the air.
That would be fun.
Okay.
I'd like that.
I'll be his guest star next time.
All right, so here we are. We're at it again. We're talking real estate, of course. That's what we're doing. But you've brought in an interesting topic today.
I have, and it bears telling because it's something so important. But the last 2 or 3 times that I've moved, I never thought of this once. And the more I get into it, the more I think everybody should be doing it. Is air quality inside your house. Like, when is the last time you thought about that? I mean, besides somebody cooking something terrible.
I haven't thought of it until right now.
Yeah, see,
so that's your answer.
That's right, and not many people do. But air quality. Obviously we spend more and more and more of our time in the house because I don't know, everything's expensive or boring out there. But we spend so much time in our house, and we don't think about what we're breathing in. And so I thought I would delve a little bit into what makes a home, easy breathing.
Well, I will say that me and my wife, one thing we do have in common, we love to keep windows open as much as we can all year round.
That's perfect. See,
so that does help.
Those kind of folks are good, but there's others that are like hermetically sealed, turn the AC up, artificial biome inside there, and what are you breathing, right? And it's like, you can get your home tested for everything. So you can call a place, like Pure Air in the Fraser Valley. They can come and they can do a full test, and they can test for VOCs, which is like off-gassing from plastics. They test for molds. They test for particulates. They test for asbestos, radon.
Radon was the big one there like 20 years ago. Everybody had to get radon tested.
Radon.
Radon, man.
Radon, okay. Yeah, that's the most
we're
Canadian.
Showing our age.
It's the most Canadian of all the elements.
Radon, man.
Radon. That's right. And so, yeah, they'll test for that. It's like a $400 test, but like, if you're moving into a new place and you don't know what's going on, like, wouldn't it be nice to know, like, especially if you suffered from allergies, like you suffered from, asthma or something like that, knowing what you're getting into before you get into it, that might be kind of nice.
Yeah, because you have different triggers that will, especially with asthma and things like that. So if you went in advance and went, oh, we got to fix this, that would be great.
Well, I was standing in the middle of the Sumas Prairie last night. Don't ask me why. No, I pulled over. This is a long story.
Well,
I pulled over because literally the prairie fire was in my eyes. The sun was going down, driving down Campbell, and I couldn't see. I had to pull over. So I pulled over. It was a beautiful sight, like looking all around.
And he somehow ended up at Birchwood Farms, got himself some ice cream.
Wait a minute. Oh, that's what it was. No, I was literally in the middle of nowhere, at the literal crossroads. Like, no houses, no farms, no trees, no nothing.
That's scary.
It was just flat.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was expecting a black Cadillac to pull up, some dark soul to get out. But
you still want to be a superstar? Yes.
Yeah,
Sign
actually,
right
I
here.
do. But yeah, anyway, I breathe in, and this is kind of what got me thinking about this is I breathe in and everything's great. I get into the car and I sneeze about 30 times going back home. And by the time I got home, my nose was plugged completely. I had to take like 2 allergy pills just to get it okay. And I feel great today, but something was in the air right there, and it messed with my insides. And so, like, when we moved into our last place, my youngest kid, he got this rash all over his hands. And so, yes, it wasn't airborne, but something in the house gave him this horrible rash. And it wasn't until like 3 months later that I guess we had cleaned up enough that the rash just went away. It was gone. So, so the same thing can happen with houses, and you don't know the history or what's been going on there, or what's going on inside the walls. And so, they new modern houses. So in 2014, they made a code to have a ventilation system in every house, because what they used to do is just rely on you turning on bathroom fans or your hood fan of your kitchen, your stove, to get air from the outside through leaks in your house, and through all the building envelope into the house and out. There was no other way of ventilating your home except for opening a window, obviously. But in the wintertime, you don't open up a lot of windows, so that didn't exchange the air very well in houses back then. So now with modern homes, something made after 2014, there's always going to be some form of constant air that's always pulling air from the outside in. Now you might say, okay, well, that's going to make things awfully cold inside your house, but not really, because they also install heat exchangers so that as the cold air is coming in and the warm air is coming out, they're meshing together, and they are, the warm air is making the cold air warmer, and so you're getting heat, inside your house still. But that's what's happening with modern homes. But if you have a home made before 2014, chances are you don't have this. They're still relying on bathroom fans and things like this. And
my dad has incredible insulation in his almost 60-year-old house in Richmond. And you can tell because you go by his house when he's got a few people in it and he's cooking dinner, and the front window is nothing but condensation. Because
not a lot of ventilation.
Not a lot of ventilation circuit. So it's middle of winter and he's got the front door open because
everybody's got their coats on, which now they're breathing even harder.
The insulation's so intense in this house that
really,
even with that door open, you're going, this ain't so bad now.
Oh wow, really? It's that hot?
Yeah. He
probably
heat, that house.
He probably just piled it in, right?
I probably.
Does he use natural gas? Is it like forced air?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most people are using forced air, right? I would say probably 60% of homes are using it.
You don't find a lot of baseboard heating anymore.
Not a lot. I mean, it's still out there. I mean, I still see it in a lot of the showings that I do. But natural gas.
That was a big 80s thing, though, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, because the price of gas in the 80s was outstanding, and the price of electricity was low. So they went, hey, let's use electric heat. It'll be more efficient. And then, of course, things change, right? Mm-hmm. But they're with the electrifying of the world, and everybody's trying to get rid of gas. You're seeing more and more electric appliances, but electric forced air is another thing with the heat pumps. But like the natural gas, like an older furnace, you can actually get carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. These are two sort of off gases from the actual burning of natural gas. And yes, they can go they go up through the stack, and yes, they get exhausted. But there's proof that some of that stays in your home, and after a long period of time, that can actually build up and become part of the air that you're breathing and you and your family are breathing. And so a lot of people are saying, well, natural gas, it's great and it's instant and it's cheap and it's easy, but there is a downside to it. The other thing about natural gas forced air and electric forced air is that you're taking all the allergens, all the dust that's puffed out, you're sending it through the system, you're filtering it once, and then you're sending it back out again, right? And so this can sort of build up inside of the duct and then shoot back out. And so there's always a little bit of dust blowing around whenever that furnace comes on. And this is actually really good because we can tell everyone, hey, it's the fall, time to change the filter in your furnace, everyone. And then go buy a HEPA if you want to get cleaner air. Spend the extra $70 or whatever the HEPA is. Put that HEPA in instead of the $4 paper filter, and you're going to get your air much, much cleaner, right?
No, absolutely. And when you talk about that, that's one of my allergies is dust.
Dust.
So when we fire up the furnace, I know right away first to get that smell.
Yeah, that's that awful, and that's dust burning inside of your burning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then followed by why am I Why am I getting all stuffed up? Oh, right, because we got dust everywhere now.
Everywhere. So, I mean, I always thought it would be good to just like, okay, it's going to be cold soon. Let's turn it on and then put it up at high and then go out for the day.
Just
Leave the windows open, right? And then when you come back, the dust is all burned off. All the dust that settled down into your ducts is all gone. And then now you can put a few fans on, blow it out. And
see, you're thinking ahead.
I am thinking ahead. Right now I'm thinking ahead. By the time I get home, do you think I'm going to have that same thought?
So what
Curtis?
you're saying is you plan ahead so you don't have to do anything right now.
What a great idea! Hey, let's write that in my memoirs.
My whole life just came to
Where's my stenographer?
That's what I've been doing. I didn't know it was a philosophy.
It's genius.
It is. Well, with that, we should probably take a quick break.
I know, I'm parched.
You're parched?
Yes, I've had too much coffee this morning.
Okay, well, that's fine. We'll get you something to drink here. And but before we take a break, where can people go to get more information about what you find folks do over at Remax Magnolia?
Well, you go to remaxmagnoliarealty.com.
Perfect.
Or you can go to jamesminchau.com if you're really, 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 really excited
But
about
how do
it.
they spell Minchau?
Minchau.
You passed the test.
Thank you.
Don't you hate when you spell your own name wrong?
Oh, I do.
We're back with more right after this.
Bye.